Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
We're going to cover a topic that I know you talked about on your channel, but we haven't discussed together yet, and that being all of the new quotes we got from Rian Johnson about what happened to the Star Wars trilogy that he was allegedly making and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Starting out, we do know he was supposed to be doing this trilogy, or at least directing the first one of it.
I thought he was going to do the whole thing. That was what was announced. He was doing a whole trilogy and...
Well, he was writing the whole thing, and then he was supposed to direct the first one of the trilogy. They hadn't gotten further than thinking that far out.
Oh.
But then he decided that Knives Out was more important. That's kind of what happened. 2019, Knives Out. 2022, Glass Onion. Then in December this year, Wake Up Dead Man, the third part of his Knives Out trilogy, comes out.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't blame him for wanting... I mean, even if the offer is still on the table, which they say it is to do the Star Wars trilogy, I don't blame him for wanting to go do his own thing.
I don't either. You know, apparently he and Kathleen Kennedy kicked ideas around for it. They're like, yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep working together. And then he's like, well, I went off to do Knives Out, and he wants to do his own thing. He's happy doing his own stuff. Okay. Especially with how the controversy around his movie in Star Wars went, maybe being happy doing your own thing is a better path for you.
Much better. You can't screw up somebody else's character that way.
Mm-hmm. He did some conceptual stuff, but he never even got to the outline. Then he kind of talked about the fact that he and his friends in college were the prequel hate central.
Yeah.
That, well, everyone was ruthless, and so was he. And then he makes a comment talking about how, 20 years later, it flipped around, and this push and this pull, and this is all part of being a Star Wars fan. Culture, war, garbage aside, I think that's essential part of it is healthy.
No, I think constructive criticism is healthy. I don't think there's any reason why people can't say, I didn't like this, and say why, and maybe be very passionate about that. No, you don't have to get, super, super angry, and some people may have.
But part of me wonders about the validity of that statement that he made. Did he only make that statement because he's hoping that his movie is going to come around in 20 years and be great, and that's how he's trying to envision all of the negativity he sees around it?
Well, it's interesting how they kind of asked that question, too. I don't know if you have that there, but they were like, there's only this vocal, angry minority. Your movie was great, Ryan. Your movie was amazing. Last Jedi was the greatest movie ever. But there is this vocal, angry minority out there who are very, very loud, and it's like, he kind of contradicts what they even say by going ahead and being like, well, maybe 20 years from now, people will finally love it.
Yeah. He also had said that in the moment, it's a complicated chain reaction to it. It never feels good to have anybody coming after you on the internet, especially coming after you and saying things that I think I very much do not agree with about a thing I made and put a lot of heart and soul into. He says, growing up a fan of the franchise ultimately let me contextualize the criticisms and feel at peace in many different ways.
Now, if it wasn't for that old clip of him saying the sign of a good movie is when half the people love it and half the people hate it, which I'll probably put that clip in here now.
I would be worried if everybody across the board was like, yeah, that was a good movie. It's much more exciting to me when you get, a group of people who are coming up to you and really, really excited about it. And then there are other people who walk out literally saying it was the worst movie I've ever seen. Having those two extremes to me is the mark of the type of movie that I want to make.
I might believe him when he says something like that, when he's hurt that people didn't like it. And I would understand that. I would get it. If I made a Star Wars movie and most of the fan base, perhaps, we can argue how much or how little, but if most of the fans hated it, that would be devastating to me.
Right, because you put your heart and soul into it, and you wanted people to like it.
I want people to like it, yeah. That would be my only goal, is to I would put my little spin on it. I would try to do something different and unique with it. I'm not saying I wouldn't try to do, in some sense, what Rian Johnson did, but I would want the people who love Star Wars to love my movie. That would be the top priority, and I don't feel like that was the case with his movie.
Well, here's a quote from 2020 for you, where he talked about the prequel trilogy in a social media post. This is how I knew he was never right for Star Wars, honestly. 2020, he says, Lucas made a gorgeous 7-hour-long movie for children about how entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists, and did it while spearheading nearly every technological sea change in modern filmmaking of the past 30 years.
What a terrible answer.
A 7-hour movie for children about how entitlement and fear of loss turns good people into fascists. Do kids really get that message if it's for children?
No. I mean, to a degree, I think they understand that good people can go bad and that they can become really, really bad people. But if that is what... If I ask a Star Wars fan to describe the prequel trilogy and that's what they say to me, I'm like, you're not really much of a Star Wars fan, are you? Because I don't... Not that he's completely inaccurate, but that's not a very Star Wars answer, I guess. It's like...
It's really not, no.
It's like that old... I could probably put this one in there as well. When Kathleen Kennedy was asked if you've always been a Star Wars fan.
Were you always a Star Wars fan?
I was a Star Wars fan in the fact that I had already decided to become a film major in college when the movie came out. And there's no question that it was a groundbreaking movie. I mean, what George Lucas created right from the moment New Hope was released, I think anybody and everybody, certainly that was studying film like I was, recognized that he had created something that was a complete and total game changer.
You're the president of Lucasfilm. You're supposed to be like, yeah, I've loved
Your
Star
answer
Wars
is
all the
supposed to be
time.
yes.
Yeah. Not like this kinda I did.
I'm a fan of what it did for film. Yeah, okay.
Okay, but
But did you like it?
Yeah. It's such a strange answer.
It's a way of saying, no, I didn't like it, but I like what it did.
Yeah.
Weird. He also kind of shared his thoughts on the rise of Skywalker, where people say that, of course, Abrams tried to retcon his movie.
Absolutely, he did, yeah.
But most fans
Despite
look at it that way.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that way, though.
Yeah,
No.
of course he doesn't.
He thought that when he saw the movie, he had a great time watching it, and it's all about point of view. I never approached this as like a territory I'm carving out for my thing. In my perspective, JJ did the same thing with the third that I did with the second, which is not digging it up and undoing, just telling the story that was the most compelling going forward. That means not just validating what come before, but recontextualizing it, evolving and changing the story as it moves forward.
That makes no sense. You're trying to tell a trilogy. You're trying to tell one cohesive story. Why would you continually recontextualize the story?
Yeah.
That is it's a political diplomatic answer. You could say he's not going to say, yeah, I hate J.J. Abrams for destroying what I did with my movie, but I did it to him first. But
it's one thing if they were both making their own Star Wars movies and they were making them differently. It's another thing to be making one trilogy and going, well, JJ made a thing, and then I just came in and I recontextualized it and decided I was not going to dig into his story. I'm just going to tell the most compelling thing going forward. And then he went and did it back to me, that rascal.
Oh, that little rascal.
He's like, it's not, I love, and I don't know if you got that, you probably found this one. He said that he didn't feel resentful, that he's talking about a movie he made with his friends, and his friends are in it, and yep, it's all the stuff I love. I'm not one to come to a hard-hitting critique. You can go to YouTube for that.
Oh, maybe you've seen my videos.
Well, everyone's critiquing him all the time because he says a bunch of things that are...
Yeah. I do wonder...
Your Snoke theory sucks. Well, at least everyone else had one.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't even have one. But I do wonder if he's ever heard of me. Because he had heard of Mike Zero. They made fun of Mike Zero, talking about his theories and how they would, like, anytime they heard a really bad theory, they, like, called it a Mike Zero theory or something like that.
They did. That's right.
Yeah, I'm forgetting exactly the quote here, but it's something like that. So I'm wondering if you ever... because I predicted his Ray is a nobody. So, haha,
you did.
JJ,
you
RJ, whatever your name is. It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. He does say that he and J.J. Abrams communicated and he didn't intend to retcon The Force Awakens.
Bullshit.
Exactly. I think J.J. had told him, I think I read it somewhere, that J.J. kind of told him what he wanted the movie to end with, and he was like, let's do it this way. Because he probably didn't even tell Abrams. He was like, I'm going to have him throw it away. You're going to have him save it. I'm going to throw it away. He probably didn't even tell him that he was going to just destroy
probably
that.
Not.
J.J. probably felt like he knew where he wanted the story to go, but he wasn't doing the second one for reasons. And that was a mistake. They should have just at least let one person finish it.
Yeah, I feel like JJ had some ideas of where to go. I don't think he had it all mapped out by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he had ideas, and he wanted the movie to end with Luke, when Rey finds Luke, he was going to be floating, and more rocks were going to, or he was meditating and rocks were floating around him, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And JJ asked him to change it. And then
Ryan asked him to change it.
Yeah, Ryan asked him to change it, and then Colin Trevorrow wanted Rian Johnson to change his movie. He wanted Luke to live because originally Colin Trevorrow was going to do episode 9, and he's like, no, I can't do that. It'd ruin my movie. My movie.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
He tries to blame it on Kennedy. He's like, she said we're looking at someone to do an Empire Strikes Back of the series, and he took the assignment seriously, but maybe he doesn't understand what that meant.
I think he meant
it didn't
something
mean
that...
you're supposed to try and make a mutant clone of it. It's not like Bizarro.
Well, it is a mutant clone of it. It's actually much more similar than people realize, I think, sometimes. How many little homages to it, I guess you could say there are.
He even said, I guess to me, that didn't mean making something that just nods to the Empire. That meant trying to genuinely do what Empire did, which is what all he did. He tried to remake it in the same time. Like, we need to have walkers. Yep, we need walkers.
Bigger walkers, yeah.
We need to shoot a big laser at, like, a shield, but it's not a shield. It's like a wall.
It's a door, yeah.
It's a door.
It's totally different.
Yeah, and instead of snow, it's salt, but it's like the same thing.
Yeah, well, I think he tried to do The Last Jedi and make it shake up Star Wars in the same way that the Empire did, or Empire Strikes Back did, and no, I don't think you
shook
can
up Star
do that.
Wars, all right.
Well, yeah, I actually, in a way, it did. It did pull off what Empire did.
Though.
It totally recontextualized Star Wars. Like that clip, he wanted people to walk out of there, and some people to go, "God, that was terrible! I can't believe they did that," and others to go, round of applause, like, "Oh, that was a masterpiece what you did."
What I think he really wanted, honestly, is he wanted to be as famous as George Lucas without, like, he managed to make a Star Wars that nobody will associate with George Lucas.
No,
nobody's going to associate with anything but him.
He did.
I mean, every Star Wars piece, no matter if it's new Star Wars or old Star Wars, people still nod to George Lucas for it. No one will look at this movie and go, "Yeah, Star Wars based on George Lucas's." No, they're gonna go, "This is a Rian Johnson movie that he just decided to make, and somehow it's Star Wars."
He left a mark on Star Wars. Unfortunately, it's a shit stain.
But it will be there forever until we retcon it.
And that is going to be all we got for you this time. So now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of anything we had to discuss today. What do you make of Rian Johnson and his interview? Or you can go check out my video. I have more to say on it and all of that. But anyway, take to the comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.
Rian Johnson, A Story of Ego.
Yeah, I think it was ego. He really wanted to. He wanted to do something that would be forever remembered, and he pulled it off, but not in the way we all wanted to remember it by.